Hey everyone, welcome to Craven Something Scary, where it's all horror, all the time. Now in this video, I'm going to discuss the current status for the upcoming film, Evil Dead Rise. Now I'm going to bring us up to speed on the progress of the movie, where the production currently stands, and what the future holds as we quickly approach the release date for this long-awaited new sequel. Let's go! So Giant Freaking Robot recently posted an article about Evil Dead Rise, and I've pulled some things together to provide you guys with the current state of the film. So let's dive in. Now the headline reads, Evil Dead Rise director say film has reached a crucial point. And the article begins, Evil Dead Rise is one step closer to reality. Lee Cronin, the director of the upcoming fifth installment in Sam Raimi's Evil Dead series, announced via Twitter that a whopping 6 months of editing on the film were done. Of course, that just means moving on to the other technical aspects of film production, like sound design and ADR for screams, we presume. But it is a big leap forward for the movie. The Evil Dead franchise has time and time again shown that it has the longevity and fan base to keep going despite the decades, and we are really resisting putting in a zombie rising from the grave joke right here. But while a specific date for re-release of Evil Dead Rise has not been released, it sounds like we are getting there. Here is Cronin's tweet, and I have actually pulled in the tweet from his Twitter feed for you here. And it says, picture lock on hashtag Evil Dead Rise. One step closer to unleashing this beast into the world. 6 months editing have gone into this timeline. Onto music composition and sound design we go. So picture lock has been achieved. Now that means the film is edited and the final version is locked in. You have to have it locked in before you can do the music and all the sound effects and all those things. So it's all done. It is set. And he mentioned that it took 6 months to get the movie edited down to this final version for release. Man, that is a long time to edit a film. 6 months of editing the footage. And I just can only imagine in that long of a period of time how much must have been cut from the film. And imagine the times that he was probably thinking about, what can I edit out? What can I cut? Maybe it was, it could have been with situations where, like we saw with Scream 5, where the movie, the original cut, after doing the initial edits, it was coming in at right at 2.5 hours, like 2 hours and 27 minutes. And the studio was like, no, this is too long. So they had to cut it down all the way down to 1 hour and 54 minutes. And I wouldn't doubt if it was something like this as well. And I'm sure we'll get more information as time goes. But for 6 months of editing, that is a lot of going back and forth, cutting out scenes, probably, like I say, pondering what scenes to cut, how short does the movie need to be. And some of this could have been driven by the studio as well. That basically could have said, hey, this is too long. You got to go back again, cut it down some more. But whatever the case might be, the movie has been locked in to time code. We don't know how long yet. He didn't say here in his tweet how long that amount of that time it is, but we just know that the time is locked in. So now it's going into that process of post-production. So this is where everything happens, all the bells and whistles, all the magic that makes a movie in terms of the production side, not the non-visual stuff. All of that starts happening now. So the sound effects, the score for the film, all of the music, all of the audio. This is where all those talented, amazing audio creators get to work on their portion now, and they get this thing done. And speaking of working magic on the movie, the Lee Cronin directed film is apparently set in the same world as the preceding Evil Dead films. So it's not a complete hard reboot. Evil Dead Rise is going to be, in that same universe, which I'm very happy to hear. And it's only the second movie to not be directed by the creator, Sam Raimi. So this is some, again, kind of uncharted territory a little bit. Only the second time it's happened. Now, Evil Dead Rise is going to follow a different cast altogether, an entirely new cast, and it's the first female-led installment in the series. Australian actors Alyssa Sutherland and Lily Sullivan will play a pair of sisters in Los Angeles who discover a book of hideous dark magic and presumably accidentally raise some bad things from the grave. Kind of how, it's an Evil Dead movie. That's what we would expect. Now, although Sam Raimi is not directing the film, him and Bruce Campbell are both on board as executive producers of this installment. But it looks like the franchise is moving forward to creating a larger world than the original, simple story of some couples being brutally murdered by ghouls in the forest. The original masterpiece that we love so much for this film franchise. But I'm really hopeful for this film, and I love the fact that Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell are both executive producers. That to me is a big deal. It's very similar to how I felt when they announced in Scream 5 that Kevin Williamson was going to be on board as an executive producer of that film. It just gave me a sense of credibility, almost more of a feeling of calmness around the film, because until that was announced for Scream 5, I was very, very nervous about that movie being made without Wes, of course, who couldn't be here obviously to make it, and without Kevin Williamson. But when they announced Kevin Williamson had signed on and is giving input to the script, it made me feel a lot better. And I kind of look at it the same way here. This movie could make me really nervous, but the fact is Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi are both executive producers of the project. And now sometimes when you hear that title thrown around, it's kind of loose. There's not actually a lot of involvement. But I'm happy to report that Bruce Campbell was recently interviewed on Cinema Dope, and when he was asked what the new Evil Dead Rise actually is, here was his response. This is a quote from Bruce Campbell. He said, "People can actually call it what they want. A sequel, remake, a reimagining. It really is just another Evil Dead movie. It's book-centric. It's all about the Necronomicon. In this case, it's set in the city. It's no more cabin in the woods. It's entirely different. Unsuspecting heroines who are going to save the day. It's filming now in New Zealand." This is before they locked up the picture. It's a little older interview. At that time, it was filming in New Zealand with some of the amazing crews down there, and they're well into it. Robert Tappert is the hands-on producer, and we're all very involved in the script. And that part right there really got my attention. And he says, "We all jump in at various times to chime in. But yeah, the three of us are very involved." So guys, this is exciting to me. It's got me pumped because not only do we have them as executive producers, we know for a fact, Bruce Campbell confirmed that he himself, along with Sam Raimi, are very involved in the script. So I really think the storyline for this movie is going to be solid. I'm excited to see how the direction they're going to take it. And honestly, I love the setting outside of the cabin in the woods setting. I think in a city, in a building, in a skyrise, I think that whole creative idea is awesome. And I think I'm pumped to see it in a new way, in a new light, knowing that Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell are heavily involved in the script, in this story that we're going to see unfold. So that gives me great hope, great excitement for Evil Dead Rise. And that's where we're at, guys. So we don't have a release date on the movie, but we're obviously getting close now. We're going into post-production. So It is expected to be released in 2022, sometime later this year, on HBO Max and in theaters. It's going to be probably one of those dual releases again, but it's definitely confirmed to be released on HBO Max 100%. So stay tuned. I will definitely keep you posted as I get more updates as they come out. And once we start getting some marketing materials, any release date, all that good stuff, I'll be all over it for you guys to keep you posted. All right, everyone. Well, I want to know, what do you think about Evil Dead Rise? Are you excited to see what they're going to do in this long-awaited sequel? I am. I want to hear your opinions, thoughts, your ideas, your theories. What do you expect to see in the movie? I just want to really pick your brain, hear what your thoughts are on it. So let's get a discussion going in the comments right now below, and let's talk about it. Well, guys, that's it for this update, but I'll be back soon with more Evil Dead Rise and other horror movie content. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time, this is Craving Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Thank you for watching.